If you live in any major city in India today, you'll be able to find a lot of electric scooters. Just in my apartment alone, half of the vehicles are EVs. Well, this wasn't the case just 3 years ago, and it's only going upwards from here. Now, most of the EV scooters we find on the road today are either Ola, who is dominating by market share, or the TVS iQube, Ather, or a few small other ones like River, Vida by Hero. But just 5 years ago, none of these guys existed when Ather was a monopoly in this segment. In business, there's something called the first movers advantage. They were the first scooter in the world to have touchscreen dashboard and Google Maps. And it was the fastest accelerating scooter at that time in India. If you are from Bangalore, you'll definitely know Ather. But if you are a viewer from another city like Delhi, Pune, Kolkata, Ahmedabad or Indore, you might think this is just another Chinese company. But unlike other products in the market, this is the only scooter that is completely made in India from scratch. Now, if you just look at the market share of each of these companies, you think that Ather is on the decline. But just because a company loses its market share to competitors, it doesn't really mean that the company is dying. Sometimes other companies just have a lot more money to burn and end up spending lots and lots of money on their marketing. In this video, we are going to do a deep dive into the business case study of Ather and provide you with key insights as to why we think they are going to be ruling this segment in just a few years. Insight 1. Great product. When Ather first started out, they thought that the charging infra in India had to be solved. So Tarun and Swapnil decided to manufacture lithium-ion batteries and sell them to EV owners in India. But at that point, the only electric scooters that were available in India were some cheap Chinese electric scooters. And most of the customers who even bought these EVs were extremely frustrated. I even remember one of my friends bought one such electric scooter in 2016. And trust me, this was nothing like the scooters on the road today. It was slow and used to struggle on flyovers, and the range of scooter used to be only 30 to 35 kilometers, and it used to even shut down and wouldn't start again while riding. After about 3 months, my friend had literally given up on the scooter. When Swapnil and Tarun tried to acquire their first few customers, they realized that there was no way that these customers would buy Ather's expensive batteries. That's when Swapnil apparently pitched that why not build electric scooter instead of just the battery.
I think both of us are passionate about building a brand. Why were we even thinking of doing this nameless, faceless thing? We should just build a brand, no? We should just build the vehicle. Okay. I was not convinced.
Ather didn't want to build just another EV scooter. They wanted to build something that's powerful, technologically advanced, and something that looks really cool. Almost like the Tesla of scooters. They started building their first prototype by tearing YoXL, which was made in China, to understand the scooter's components and its functions in the lab of IIT Madras. It took them 4 months to build their first prototype, and this is how it looked. Tarun even filmed a short video while riding this prototype scooter. It was fantastic at start, but the team at Ather still had a long journey ahead. They received a grant of 5 lakh rupees from IIT Madras, which helped them create their second prototype. However, they needed more funding to build something that customers would actually want to buy. The grant money ran out quickly, and venture capitalists weren't interested in investing in a young EV company. So Tarun and Swapnil decided to try crowdfunding. They took pre-orders for 25 scooters at 85,000 rupees each. They set a timeline of about 6 months to achieve this. In 2016, Ather announced their first electric scooter, the S340, and claimed they would start commercial production by the end of this year. But this is when Ather's production challenges began. Building an amazing scooter as prototype is one thing, but the real challenge of scooter and cars lies in mass production.
This is like just very fundamentally underappreciated. If people have not been in manufacturing, especially manufacturing of something that's relatively new, then they don't understand, and they think the design is the hard part, and they think production is like a copier or something like that. Right. This is completely false. I can't emphasize enough. I'm trying to correct the misperception.
Most automobile vendors in India already has existing customers and standards that they follow. And when a new company like Ather approaches these vendors, it becomes an issue of compliance. It is almost like these vendors couldn't keep up with the innovation of the Ather team. This is when Hero MotoCorp decided to invest 200 205 crores in Ather. Then Ather launched 340 and 450 in 2018. Their Ather 450 was the best scooter in the market. And I'm not talking about just the EV scooter, but the best scooter in the market in terms of performance. It had sufficient range for a daily commute in a city like Bangalore. It had performance like no other scooter, and the thing that caught most people's attention when they launched the scooter was how silent it was for noisy streets of Bangalore. At this point of time, Ather had created the best product in market with zero competition. Although Ola launched their electric scooter very shortly in 2020, Ather's product was still better when they shipped new features constantly, like the auto hold and reverse mode, making their product best in the market. The challenge was the price. Tarun and Swapnil focused on creating the best scooter packed with top tier features and hardware without fully considering the costs involved. So while they were selling the scooter for 1.25 lakh rupees, the actual production cost was close to 5 lakh rupees.
2019 start when we were selling the first Ather 450s. And I think I can now be public about it, it's fine. It used to cost us about 3.6 lakh rupees as the material cost per vehicle, and an additional about almost 1,20,000 on top of other expenses of assembling and taking other risks on the product. So roughly something like 5 lakh rupees was the cost to build and sell one vehicle, while one sale brought in 1,20,000. Yes, the math was not working out. Right?
Their gross margin was more than negative 350%. The money they had raised was burning up quickly. Things got so bad that Tarun and Swapnil even considering shutting down Ather altogether and becoming a technology partner for other companies. They had tried everything, but building an electric scooter from scratch in India was driving them towards bankruptcy. Tarun eventually went to his investor and promised to fix the pricing issue within a year, but he had no clue how he would do that. To stop the bleeding, they made a tough decision to limit the production to just 200 scooters a month, even though their factory had the capacity to produce 2,500 scooters. This way, they could slow down their financial losses. Next, they turned to Hero, a company which had decades of experience in manufacturing two-wheelers, to help improve Ather's efficiency. By early 2021, Ather had successfully brought down their production cost to be lower than the price they were selling their scooters for. One important point that differentiates Ather product from other companies is that the Ather owns their products in its entirety. Ola had to import the technology from outside. So Ather has much more finer controls on their product. So if they want to implement a feature, it would be better than other scooters in the market.
Both of us implemented a feature called auto hold. Cars have auto hold, hill hold, right? So for example, if you are on a slope, like coming out of a mall ka parking lot, let's say, you will engage auto hold, which means you will never accidentally slide back. So if you put the throttle on, आप आगे जाएंगे, throttle छोड़ दिया तो पीछे तो नहीं जाओगे, गलती से भी. Simple feature है. Two-wheelers don't have it. Okay. But electric में you can build it because you got a very sophisticated motor controller. So it can ensure your motor only turns forward, does not accidentally go into reverse even if there's force coming on it. And it's a lot of sophisticated control to ensure how to manage that load वगैरह and ensure you always move forward. Okay. But the way both of us implemented it, pretty substantial difference. Like fundamentally sounds the same feature, but the way we implemented and the way Ola implemented, I think Ola's same capability would last a much shorter time. So if you engage this hill hold feature on a steep slope, after a minute or so, the motor would be like, okay, now I can't support this. It'll start rolling back. The way we implemented it, you could just stay like that for 10 minutes.
So basically what I'm trying to say is, while other companies can ship similar features as Ather by taking a jugaad approach, their capabilities won't come anywhere close to that of Ather. Coming to the second insight, virality and marketing. We all know Ather has very shitty marketing after this tweet by Nikhil Kamath went viral. And Tarun himself agreed on Nikhil Kamath's podcast. But on the same podcast, he mentioned how Ather has a better word of mouth with their customers.
I would say what we are doing well is we have better word of mouth.
This is actually very important in terms of marketing. The end goal of all marketing is virality. Whether you are doing email marketing, content, billboards, advertisements, the end result that you are expecting as a marketer is virality. For example, when you run an ad, you want that ad to be memorable and get lots of people talking about the ad. If you are posting content as means of marketing, then you want the viewers to share it with their friends, which again is expectation for virality. For a product company like Ather to have a good word word of mouth among their customers is basically having virality. But the only problem is it's not at scale. Like I said, if you talk about Ather anywhere outside of Bangalore, most people think it's an European brand.
The biggest problem that we discover is that people don't even know what is Ather. Like up north, the biggest feedback that I get is that most people think that if they have heard of Ather, ये कोई यूरोपियन नॉर्वेजियन कंपनी होगी, पता नहीं इंडिया में कब तक रहेगी.
So once you already have virality of the product on your side, it's only a matter of time before word starts spreading. Now coming to the third insight, user-centric. You can see from the new Rista launch that Ather is very user-centric. Every feature they add to a product is extremely well thought of from a user's perspective. Like take this feature for example. Or even this feature and this. Other companies like Ola, who have just imported their products, would find it extremely hard to match the quality of the features being shipped by Ather. Especially in Bangalore, where I live, Ather is considered like the iPhone of e-scooters. Sure, Ola and iQube may have higher sales at this point of time, but personally, I am rooting for Ather to succeed because it demonstrates how a made in India product, almost completely made from scratch, is better than any other foreign counterparts in the world. So these were the main insights that are helping Ather stand out in the EV segment. If you like this video, do let us know in the comments below and we'll make more such videos soon. Also smash that subscribe button to stay updated. ಇರೋ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಸಾಕು ಸಾಕು. ಅದು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸಾಕು, ಫಾಕ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೇರೆ ಥರ ಹೇಳೋಣ. ಈಗ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡೋಣ, ಮೈನಸ್ ಬದಲು. ಸರಿ, ತಿರ್ಗಾ ತಗೊಂಡು. ದೇರ್ ಗ್ರೋಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಜಿನ್ ವಾಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ 350%. ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮೈನಸ್ ಸರಿ. even though their factory ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. This way they could ಮೇಲೆ ಸಾಕು ಮೇಲೆ ಸಾಕು. When you run an ad, for example, in the if you are posting content as ಮೇಲೆ then you want the viewers ಮೇಲೆ ತಿರ್ಗಾ full start fuck. But the only problem that it is not at but the only problem sentence correct. But the only problem is it's not at scale. Pause ಮಾಡು. Perfect. ಮೇಲೆ